So the transgender treatment for kids bill is headed to the governor's desk for his possible signature. Bill would likely take away. Actually, that's not kind of where we're gonna talk about this first, because there's a lot going on at the State House right now. It is far from over, and today Idaho lawmakers still working at this hour to kind of just make it through this day, and even trying to make it through this whole session. But first, they're going to focus on this day. It's a whiplash day of ideas, according to Joe Paris, who's going to join me now to talk about, well, what they're talking about when it comes to property taxes, because things are kind of all over the place right now, and they're just trying to get through, well, the rest of this session. Joe?
Yeah, Brian, and you know, there's been a lot that has happened today and really over the last 48 hours, and we're going to walk you through it, because when we get the text messages from the text system from you guys at home, one of the big questions we get all session long is, what about property taxes, and is there going to be anything done on it? And we can tell you at this point, it's still up in the air. Now, there was a House Bill 292 that we had been talking to you about for a few weeks that would essentially send a lot of money to Idaho schools so that they wouldn't have to run bonds and levies, and the idea there is that if they don't have to run bonds and levies, then your property tax won't go up. Well, long story short, that was passed by the House and the Senate, and then Governor Brad Little got on his desk. He vetoed it. He had a handful of concerns with the idea there, and really what he said is that he's not sure that the numbers are going to work on this. So he sent it back to lawmakers saying, let's try again. And some lawmakers say, okay, we need to fix a few things. Others said that, well, we really need to figure out exactly how to do this correctly. So yesterday, the Idaho Senate, as we explained to you, they basically wiped everything they could, and they basically made a brand new, they made a new piece of legislation. And over in the House today, that was received. And when it was received in the House, it really wasn't received with a lot of excitement. Take a listen.
So the amendments gut the original bill and instead substitute in the body across the rotunda's quote-unquote fix for what they perceive to be a flawed House Bill 292. Again, these are hostile amendments. I would ask unanimous consent that the House not, that's N-O-T, not concur with the amendments on House Bill 198.
So the Senate's big idea to recombobulate everything, it was turned down by the Idaho House today. So what about the original idea, the one that was approved by both houses with overwhelming support, but Governor Little saw issues with? Well, that is House Bill 292, and it now has a trailer bill to clarify the problems that the governor had with it. And the trailer bill is called House Bill 376, and it clarifies that the existing intent in the original entire property tax bill will make sure that $80 million is distributed to the Transportation Expansion and Congestion Mitigation. That's the TECM fund, where a lot of money goes into it to help pay for local road projects. And there was concerns that the funding in this property tax bill would actually compromise a handful of highway projects, further creating a backlog in the state of Idaho. So Governor Little, he was really worried about that, Brian. The questions about funding and really, you know, what's going to happen there. And there was a compromise in the original property tax bill that basically said, okay, we're going to get rid of the March election dates so that they're not able to go ahead and run as many things, as many bonds and levies. So that is still part of the deal here.
To get rid of that?
Correct. So that would get rid of it. So at this point, we're keeping an eye on all things.
Wow. And that's something that the Idaho Education Association is not in favor of, getting rid of those March election days for bonds and levies to help, you know, get kids funding for schools, or at least school districts funding for schools. So we still got that to look forward to. All right. You're going to keep an eye on that. There's still some other things that kind of did happen today at the State House.